You ever get that feeling that that little itch, wondering what's really going on,
Yeah.
beneath the surface of things?
Oh, yeah. That feeling there's something more, some deeper current to life, just waiting to be figured out.
Exactly. It's that drive we have, right?
Yeah.
To not just live life,
Right.
but to really get it.
To understand the connections, the hidden bits, everything.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And today, well, we're diving into a really remarkable example of that kind of, relentless search. We've got these excerpts from something called The Endless Quest, a shared research journey. It's this document, and it follows two brothers, John and the narrator, on their lifelong mission to unpack some huge mysteries.
Lifelong, you said. That immediately jumps out, the sheer commitment.
Right. It's not just a weekend hobby.
No, this sounds like decades of dedication. A really deep intellectual journey, maybe even spiritual.
That's exactly the feel. So
Yeah.
our mission here in this deep dive is to explore what makes their shared quest so compelling, and maybe what insights it offers, for your own search for understanding.
Sounds fascinating. Where do we start?
Okay, so let's jump right in. The document really emphasizes this incredible dedication, 2 lifetimes, basically, poured into research. And get this, over 100 years of combined meditation between them.
100 years. Wow. That's not just a side note, is it?
Not at all.
It suggests this deep link between the hard thinking, the research, and that quiet contemplative side.
Yeah, like one fed the other.
Makes you wonder how all that meditation, that quieting the mind, might have actually shaped what they found, maybe helped them see connections others would just miss.
It certainly makes you think about different ways of knowing things, doesn't it?
Definitely. Not just analyzing, but maybe receiving information too.
It's like they weren't just sharpening their minds, but making them more receptive. And their whole approach, they describe it as going down the rabbit hole.
Right. We all use that phrase.
But for them, it feels like more than just a metaphor. It's like a deliberate strategy.
The text talks about a willingness to plunge into deeper layers of reality. So it's not just curiosity, it's an active choice.
Yeah, actively engaging with the unknown.
Following those threads wherever they lead, even if it's, way outside the usual lines, that willingness to kind of embrace the uncertain, that's often where the breakthroughs are, isn't it?
Totally. And here's where it gets, really intriguing for me.
Okay.
A lot of their research, their projects, actually started from dreams.
Dreams, seriously.
Dreams. It's almost like this huge body of work is being fed by something beyond their, waking logical minds.
That's wow. What's so fascinating there is how dreams can just bypass all that linear thinking we usually rely on.
Right. Step-by-step logic goes out the window.
Could it be tapping into some more intuitive way of knowing? The document even sort of hints at this idea of a universal mind, maybe communicating through dreams.
It really makes you reconsider the edges of consciousness,
Yeah.
where insights actually come from.
Yeah, it does. Maybe we sometimes dismiss those less rational paths too quickly.
Could be. And it's not like these dream-inspired projects were totally separate things either. The document points out how one project just naturally flowed into the next.
Showing that interconnectedness of knowledge.
Exactly. Like how, different fields in science sometimes unexpectedly shed light on each other.
Precisely. It's a great picture of how knowledge isn't just like a pile of separate facts. It's a web. It's alive.
One discovery sparks the next question, which leads somewhere else.
And for these brothers, that interconnectedness probably built up this richer, more holistic understanding, each part lighting up the others.
Which actually leads perfectly into the whole collaborative side of it.
Okay.
This wasn't some lone genius locked away. It was a shared journey and co-creation. The text even calls them two sparks of the universal mind working together.
There's real power in that idea, isn't there? That combining perspectives, it amplifies things.
Definitely. Have you ever felt that in your own work when collaborating?
Oh, absolutely. That synergy thing where, 1 + 1 equals way more than 2. It's a real phenomenon.
Yeah.
And the document mentions a quote later from this dragon narrator, Zoran.
Yes, the dragon. We'll get to him.
He says something like, "The universe reveals its secrets not to the one who demands, but to the two who seek, hand in hand." It really hits that point home.
The power of shared seeking.
Shared vulnerability, different viewpoints, unlocking deeper stuff together.
And if you're curious, to see what actually came out of all this,
Yeah.
this lifelong quest, the document points to a website.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's revolutionoflove.com/books book's menu. They call it a map of their research.
A map, I like that. It makes it tangible.
It gives you a sense of just the sheer scope of what they looked into.
Yep.
Turns this kind of abstract, endless quest into something you can actually, well, explore a bit yourself if you want to.
It's solid proof, in a way, that sticking with the questions can lead to something substantial, a real body of knowledge.
Definitely a testament to persistence. Now, you mentioned the dragon, Zoran.
Right. A dragon narrator. That's unexpected.
It is, and he has some strong takes. He says, scholars say worms are metaphors. I say metaphors bite.
Huh. What do you make of that, a dragon weighing in?
Well, it's definitely unconventional, but maybe it injects this broader, almost timeless viewpoint.
Outside our usual human limits of time and perception, perhaps, offering insights that kind of shake up our assumptions.
And that line, metaphors bite. What do you think he means?
Well, maybe that our ideas, our abstract concepts, they aren't just words. They have real consequences. They shape how we see things, how we act, sometimes in ways we don't expect. They have teeth, so to speak.
That makes sense. And Zoran, he really doubles down on the power of them doing this together.
Yeah, contrasting it with trying to figure things out alone.
He seems to think some truths can only really be found collaboratively.
Exactly. He says, the deepest mysteries are often best unveiled not by solitary effort, but when two souls, aligned in purpose and resonance, dive into the rabbit hole together.
Resonance. That's a great word for it.
It pulls that main theme right back to the front. The journey itself, the shared experience of asking the questions, is maybe just as important as finding any single answer.
Which actually brings us neatly to something the document calls the dragon trial.
Dragon trial sounds intense.
Yeah. No fire involved, don't worry. It's really a reflection question for you listening.
Okay.
It asks you to think about a time you really collaborated deeply with someone on maybe a tough problem or some kind of search for understanding.
Right.
And to think about what came out of that. What unique insights popped up specifically because you were working together? Insights you might have missed on your own. What did that collaboration feel like?
That's a great prompt, because that's where you connect these bigger ideas to your own life, isn't it?
Exactly. Thinking about those moments of synergy, it can really highlight that power of working together.
Makes it real.
So as we kind of start to wrap up our deep dive into this really amazing shared research journey, let's just quickly recap. We've touched on the incredible dedication, decades of it, from these brothers.
Right. And their willingness to go down the rabbit hole into those deeper layers.
And that really fascinating role that dreams seem to play in sparking their research.
Yeah, the nonlinear insights. Plus, the interconnectedness of it all, how one thing led to another.
And maybe the biggest takeaway, the profound power that comes from that shared quest, that collaborative resonance.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How often we try and figure out the big stuff all on our own.
Yeah. Maybe there's just this whole other level of understanding that opens up when we, link arms with people who have that same deep curiosity.
Which leaves a pretty interesting question for you to ponder, perhaps.
What's that?
What if the biggest breakthroughs in your own understanding, your own quests, aren't meant to be those solo aha moments? What if they're waiting in those shared explorations?
What untapped wisdom could be out there if we consciously look to those hand-in-hand journeys in our own lives?
Something to think about.